land of truth and light, where the spirits dance all night. The Creator gang shines bright, guiding us with all their might. Trumpets sound across the sky as we raise our voices high, praising the one most high, under the auspice watchful eye. We sing songs of love and grace in this sacred space. For the Creator gang we embrace, their wisdom we chase, with trumpets playing in tune, under the silvery moon. We dance until the morning sun, this connection never undone. Harmony in every beat, our faith is concrete. Through the pages of the OSP, ancient wisdom on display, teaching us the righteous way, leading us to a brighter day. With each trumpet blast, we're reminded of the past and the love that will ever last in this divine contrast.
Jah, over I and I.
United in spirit, we uplift and hear it. We sing songs of love and grace in this sacred space. For the Creator gang we embrace, their wisdom we chase, with trumpets playing in tune, under the silvery moon. We dance until the morning sun, this connection never undone. We sing songs of love and grace in this sacred space. For the Creator gang we embrace, their wisdom we chase, with trumpets playing in tune, under the silvery moon. We dance until the morning sun, this connection never undone.
Yes, family, large up yourself, big up yourself. It's the hostess with the mostest. Select the Sila Shaloms on the 1 and 2s. You know how we do. It's the vibes. It's the vibes, vibes, vibes. Know how we do. Run the blood. Creator gang is undefeated. I keep it real, pack to steal if whoever want it. Clap, Judah be running laps when he get confronted. Got Devil Cosmon and knock you off a 500. They hit the club, roll up a Judah dub, forever blunted. Contemplating on who we gonna take out next. Got Cosmon, Cal, Malachi, Mac can be the best. The Four Horsemen who understand the business. Contract killers won't hesitate to kill a witness. 21 bodies executed on my hit list. JJ trying to watch me, trying to take pictures. Yara working with woods and paint, a bunch of snitches. Peer pressure separate the real from the bitches. Niggas be gang gang until you start to bang bang. Let a nigga brains hang on everybody like dang. You thought it couldn't happen. Yara wouldn't smoke 9/11 Manhattan. bullets in his breastplate, both lungs collapsing. Hands reaching in the air for the air he grasping. The flyer was made, Sila Shalom, first captain. But the captain ran away, just like if nothing happened. I'm a certified killer. Peel a nigga, cut him open and feed him his own liver. Graphic is how I paint the picture. Shoot shots like a pitcher, split JJ like a swish. Cut the head off for the lion's den and watch the rest of the body quiver. Core shots I deliver when it's crunch time on the trigger. Got 2 pair of eagles, fly like seagulls when it's time. I scoot out, shoot out, air out Yara every time. Standing behind enemy lines, killing my enemies every time. Defend the faith like Muslim Sunni soldiers at a shrine. I facilitate thoughts beyond the thoughts of mankind. Create a gang is in the prime while you niggas get left behind. Creative gang is undefeated. Salute, Daryl Cosmon, Cosmon Cal, Malachi Maccabee, and the whole Creative gang. Nigga, we outside with it. All that huffing and puffing don't mean nothing when you step in the dojo. Hold up, no Sam. Hold up, nigga. We gotta do this right. We gotta do this right, no Sam. The God of War got you niggas stuck in a slave ship. Nigga, what? Hold on, let me do this right, nigga. What you mean? Yeah, nigga, we gotta play that. I'm just vibing, really. All right, let me see. Share screen. All right, I got it. I got it. Best believe I got it. Yeah, I figured it out now. Let's run it. Yeah. Create a gang. FOPE dis. For our people's ignorance. Salute Malachi Maccabee, Cosmon Cal, Bronze Yogi, Yare Ya. Create a gang. Peace to the goddesses. We gonna set the record straight. I know these clowns named folk, man, they a fucking joke. Naphtali tried to explain the Ark of Noah's boat. Malachi Maccabee exposed the whole shit as a hoax. She had the nerve to say the earth is 6,000 years old. And tried to use Gobekli Tepe for the Ark of Noah. What you ought to know, your sources got burned like an arsenal. So pack it up and throw them scripts in the trash. Your God gets stoned to death for prophecies not coming to pass. Like America's supposed to get hit with the nuclear blast. 24 years later, we look back at you niggas and laugh. I should pick rocks and stone you niggas myself. Throw you in a lake of fire, watch your skin start to melt. Shawshank be the first to get blamed. When I heard the shots, look, left his people and ran. Damn, K. Judah, you feel to be a shooter. You not a teacher, you a tutor, hiding behind computers. Neptali, you not ready for Mally. He exposed to go for wood from the ark, come out of Cali. Long Beach, Neptali better run a retreat. Your champion looking bad on these YouTube streets. When I waving the white flag as a sign of defeat. Bow down like Jehu and kiss the boot of my feet, nigga. Your Messiah can't save shit. Where was the Messiah when we was changing them slave ships? Praying to a God in return ain't say shit. The God of war got you niggas stuck in a slave pit. Talking about that's prophecy. More like propaganda from a false God democracy. FOP for our people's edification. You not edifying, but lying to the Israelite nation. Think you following God when you following Satan. Stiff-necked and stubborn like them goddamn Jamaicans. Come against Creator, gang, your doctrine's dying. When Mally cut Neptali, she almost started crying. She ran to her husband and screamed, baby, I'm trying. That's what happens when you put a pussycat against a lion. Yeah, Creator gang is undefeated. FOP is washed up. Y'all put y'all goddess on the front line and she got her head blown off. Creator gang is undefeated. We out of here. Run the rhythm. Creator gang is undefeated. I keep it real, pack this steel if whoever want it. Clap, Judah be running laps when he get confronted. Got Devil Cosmon and knock you off of 500. They hit the club, roll up a Judah dub forever blunted. Contemplating on who we gonna take out next. Got Cosmon, Cal, Malik, got Mac and be the best. The Four Horsemen who understand the business. Contract killers won't hesitate to kill a witness. 21 bodies executed on my hit list. JJ trying to watch me, trying to take pictures. Y'all out working with woods and paint a bunch of snitches. Peer pressure separate the real from the bitches. Niggas be gang until you start to bang bang. Let a nigga brains hang on everybody like dang. You thought it couldn't happen. Yahweh wouldn't smoke 9/11 Manhattan. Bullets in his breastplate, both lungs collapsing. Hands reaching in the air for the air he grasped it. The flyer was made, Sila Shalom first captain. But the captain ran away just like if nothing happened. I'm a certified killer. Peel a nigga, cut him open and feed him his own liver. Graphic is how I paint the picture. Shoot shots like a pitcher. Split JJ like a swish. Cut the head off for the lion's den and watch the rest of the body quiver. Core shots I deliver when it's crunch time on the trigger. Got to pair with eagles, fly like seagulls when it's time. I scoot out, shoot out. Air out Yara every time. Standing behind enemy lines, killing my enemies every time. Defend the faith like Muslim Sunni soldiers at a shrine. I facilitate thoughts beyond the thoughts of mankind. Creator gang is in the prime while you niggas get left behind. Creator gang is undefeated. Salute, Daryl Cosmon, Cosmon Cal, Malachi Maccabee, and the whole Creator gang. Nigga, we outside with it. All that huffing and puffing don't mean nothing. You step in the dojo.
Yeah.
Jason Nero put the record out.
Creator gang coming, Creator gang coming. Turning up the light and watch some boys start running. Let me tell you something, we ain't out here doing nothing. I can tell you scared, boy, niggas stop fronting. It was all in the plan, comprehension, understand. Breaking boys off like Creator did the plan. Cooler than the band, who you fooling, man? We be tearing shit up like we're taping and some bands. Conscious community, yeah, we in demand. They hunger for the truth, debate more the booth. Sourcing up with the proof, hey, you on the tooth. Catch me in the candy painted octagon coupe. Step in my boots while I'm knocking mine loose. You be the cobra, I be the mongoose. Plant base in my suit, meditate on my fruit. Red Star training, who let the gods loose?
All you gotta do is
Oh, you've never used samples like this before. This
These are the hidden mysteries untold, seeking the truth from fragments of ancient scrolls. Decipher the code as the revelation unfold. Behold, as religious lies get exposed. These are the hidden mysteries untold, seeking the truth from fragments of ancient scrolls. Decipher the code as the revelation unfold. Behold, as religious lies get exposed. The time is ticking, the time is risen. The prophetic vision is given to the selected who listen. Studying manuscripts and scrolls, 2,000 years went missing, exposing the forgeries and the lies of the first century Christians. Covering up the mere fact that Jesus was a myth, but it started when the Ptolemies conquered Egypt. Ptolemy the first was the first to rule, the first European to make Egypt his footstool. Now this is where it gets confused. Ptolemy decided to choose to make an image of God like Zeus. He took Osiris the savior and Apis the bull, two Egyptian deities you could find in the mystery schools. The combining of these deities was named Serapis. Temples made in his name to service religious practice. Years later, the worship of Serapis as the savior, the false Alpha and Omega. These are the hidden mysteries untold, seeking the truth from fragments of ancient scrolls. Decipher the code as the revelation unfold. Behold, as religious lies get exposed. These are the hidden mysteries untold, seeking the truth from fragments of ancient scrolls. Decipher the code as the revelation unfold. Behold, as religious lies get exposed. Now, Ptolemy II starts to reign. Serapis is well established. Temples made in his name called Serapeums. Cathedrals, largest stadiums. Same times Greek exposed playing with boys in gymnasiums. Man and boy relations among the Greek Caucasians. This is a crucial time in history because it's history in the making. Hebraic customs and cultures were stolen and taken. Now you got pure Caucasians screaming Shalom Aleichem. It started when Ptolemy II commanded the Jews to translate the Tanakh, divided men up into 72. And after 72 days it was through. The first Greek to which your Bible translated from the Hebrew. And only the learned men of that day could read it. After the Ptolemaic reign ended, Rome succeeded. The seat of Satan is the Roman Empire. Believe it, the title, the Son of God, is now Julius Caesar. These are the hidden mysteries untold, seeking the truth from fragments of ancient scrolls. Decipher the code as the revelation unfold. Behold, as religious lies get exposed. These are the hidden mysteries untold, seeking the truth from fragments of ancient scrolls. Decipher the code as the revelation unfold. Behold, as religious lies get exposed. They want you to worship Christ, but the Christ was in existence before Jesus Christ. The term Christ didn't refer to a man being anointed. The caress was Osiris, the good shepherd appointed. The Greeks took the caress from Osiris at Abydos. The Greeks letters X and P became the Chi in a row. The symbol of the cross was the Christ. Long before Joseph and Mary became husband and wife. The truth could cut like a knife and as sharp as a cactus. The first Christians wasn't followers of Jesus but Serapis. You've been deceived by the masses. Your religious masses is leading you down the road to disaster, making slaves out of you through religious beliefs. So when you cross over in spirit, you still deceived. That's the truth and the proof, so you better take heed. These are the signs of the times of this century. These are the hidden mysteries untold, seeking the truth from fragments of ancient scrolls. Decipher the code as the revelation unfold. Behold, as religious lies get exposed. These are the hidden mysteries untold, seeking the truth from fragments of ancient scrolls. Decipher the code as the revelation unfold. Behold, as religious lies get exposed.
It be the legend of the four, the legend of the fallen, the legend of the ones who lost their way and left their calling. The legend of the four, the legend of the fallen, the legend of the ones who lost their way and left their calling. The legend of the four, the legend of the fallen, the legend of the ones who lost their way.
I'll break the barrier, the code to Samaria. Explain how ancient man flew with aircraft carriers. Those from heaven came with advanced sciences. The primitive man rubbing sticks to get flames. Genetically, the gods exchanged genes, took DNA strands and fused them with primitive earthlings, creating Homo sapiens with the darkest of skins. in the South African tropical region. Mining gold for the gods all season. In the Garden of Eden, before man was conscious of his being, he took orders like any other animal breathing. And this is where the serpent creeped in, started to explain to man the meaning of logical thinking and reasoning. Gain knowledge of self-awareness, no knowledge man is perceiving. Gave birth to mental conception, now man is conceiving. Being naked and knowing good and evil, got him believing.
It be the legend of the four, the legend of the fallen, the legend of the ones who lost their way and left their calling. The legend of the four, the legend of the fallen, the legend of the ones who lost their way and left their calling. The legend of the four, the legend of the fallen, the legend of the ones who lost their way and left their calling. The legend of the four, the legend of the fallen, the legend of the ones who lost their way. Expelled from the highest heavens, torment on the weapons. Humanity corrupted, genetic code is altered. The line drawn in the sand that separate the night from the day. Man mixed with iron and clay, lost their way seeking the daughters of men. Fell from the highest state, that's where the story begins. Made a pact among themselves at Mount Hermon. A Darth brotherhood expounding on them false sermons. Determined to plant a seed inside a young virgin, which gave birth to goddess worshiping our church service. A plan to undermine the righteous precepts and set themselves up as the only elect. A failed attempt to watch over mankind for the convoluted ways that we're thrown in the pit for all time. Bound and changing darkness with the hypocrite for following the ways of the primitive. Be the legend of the four, the legend of the fallen, the legend of the ones who lost their way and left their calling. The legend of the four, the legend of the fallen, the legend of the ones who lost their way and left their calling. The legend of the four, the legend of the fallen, the legend of the ones who lost their way and left their calling. The legend of the four, the legend of the fallen, the legend of the ones who lost their way.
The wickedness of man multiplied again. The evil gen sowing seed of mischief in the land. Now we in the 17th ark after the creation of man, called the Ark of Noah. And Noah wasn't a man. The gods had a plan, decreed it to sink Pan. 12,000 souls saved from the mighty Yahweh's hand. The command to build 138 ships was the plan. 4 fleets and 34 ships broken down in. In the second moon cycle, 17th day they ended in. The heavens was filled with spacecrafts when the floodwaters began. Subgroups divided up, controlled by the 4 winds under the Pacific Ocean. Pan will never rise again because mortal man was walking on all fours like a chimpanzee. And the only surviving piece of the continent of Pan is Japan. And the fleets divided up became Shin Japheth and Ham. But they wasn't people, but the names of geographical lands.
It be the legend of the four, the legend of the fallen, the legend of the ones who lost their way and left their calling. The legend of the four, the legend of the fallen, the legend of the ones who lost their way and left their calling. The legend of the four, the legend of the fallen, the legend of the ones who lost their way and left their calling. The legend of the four, the legend of the fallen, the legend of the ones who lost their way.
Right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. We gonna march 100 down, walk in the streets. We gonna march with black hoods and black fatigues. We gonna march with heavy hammers holding the heat. We gonna march left, we gonna march left. We gonna march 100 down, walk in the streets. We gonna march with black hoods and black fatigues. We gonna march with heavy hammers holding the heat. We gonna march left, we gonna march left. We gonna march. Pledge allegiance to get rid of these heathens like it's open duck season until nobody's left breathing. I'm a martyr. Sergeant Slaughter got army by the legions. Cause havoc and carnage when I'm conquering the region. Gonna march, nigga, we gonna scorch the whole place. Assassins on the roof ready to annihilate. Got men in position with precision to shoot straight. We got things in order just in case you violate. We destroying everything, causing total iniquity. Causing riots in the streets like we back in the 60s. But we ain't fighting for rights or freedom from whites. We in the streets pumping a chopper, riding hundreds of motorbikes. We gonna march. march. We got women that'll slug men, hard as Harriet Tubman, carrying heat like an oven. Under the Underground Railroad is how we traveling. Marching through the swamps from Georgia to Maryland. We gonna march, 100 down, walk in the streets. We gonna march with black hoods and black fatigues. We gonna march with heavy hammers holding the heat. We gonna march left, we gonna march left. We gonna march, 100 down, walk in the streets. We gonna march with black hoods and black fatigues. We gonna march with heavy hammers holding the heat. We gonna march left, we gonna march left. We gonna march.
Living mathematics paints the picture. Attention to all ghetto youths are over, yeah. Decrees and covenants forcing. Stand not at ease, they stand pausing. You know my less gods are don't need redemption. Black boots in your face are your trademark. Documented chronological order. Some boy to die, them only frequent lighters. The medium of language is broken. Panic not the ark of God. 20,000 year of cycles, 4 seasons. 4/7 moon rises to dark periods. The web that you will kill metropolitan spiders. One track that is the equalizer. Time stands still yet motion later. Our species countless of
we gonna
no
march, 100 down, walk in the streets. We gonna march with black hoods and black fatigues. We gonna march with heavy hammers holding the heat. We gonna march left, we gonna march left. We gonna march, 100 down, walk in the streets. We gonna march with black hoods and black fatigues. We gonna march with heavy hammers holding the heat. We gonna march left, we gonna march left. We gonna march. It's a war against the black race. They looking to exterminate every black face. Wrap your head around the facts, cause this is facts based. Genetically altered with a black man's DNA. Trapped in the belly of the beast. I see devils with their pitchforks and they're ready to feast. Neo-Nazi police, guns drawn, fully on, ready to squeeze. They'll still kill you with your hands up on your knees, screaming please. Visions of roadblocks and helicopters. Military soldiers scoping with night vision binoculars. Revolutionary events that turn apocalypse. Popular clips, return shots, cops hit. The final showdown is going down. They got military compounds above and below ground. Sonar radar sound that could destroy your whole town. White supremacy trying to kill off the black and brown. March, 100 down, walking.
Yeah, niggas playing with that heat. Playing with that heat. You know what I mean? Give me y'all a little taste of the music. You know what I'm saying? A little sun. Yeah. We got that military vibe going over here. Creative Gang Productions, Creative Gang Music, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Let's get into some laughs real quick. Let's get a quick laugh in. Ooh. Hold on. Let me see. How I do that?
And that track, I'm set.
And that track, unbet het.
Shoo! And that track, I'm set.
Track ast.
Nuke ast. Shoo!
Nuke, I'm set. Track ast.
And that track, I'm set.
Nuke ast.
Shoo!
And that track, unbet het.
Shoo!
Nuke. Shoo! Oh, this shit is hilarious. One more time. Run the rhythm.
Shoo! And that track, I'm set.
And that track, unbet het.
Shoo! And that track, I'm set.
Track ast.
Nuke ast. Shoo!
Nuke, I'm set. Track ast.
And that track, I'm set.
Nuke ast.
Shoo!
And that track, unbet het.
Shoo!
Nuke, shoo.
Yo, this part right here is hilarious.
Shoo.
Right here.
Shoo!
Nuke, shoo. Het.
Shoo!
Nuke, shoo. Het.
Shoo!
Nuke, shoo.
Yeah, man, we had to, you know what I mean, bring our laughter out on that one, man. That shit is hilarious right there. Had to put them one more time.
Anetrak Amset.
Anetrak Unbet Het.
Shoo! Anetrak Amset.
Chrak Ast.
Nuke Ast. Shoo!
Nuke Amset. Chrak Ast.
Anetrak Amset.
Nuke Ast.
Shoo!
Anetrak Unbet Het.
Shoo!
Nuke Shoo.
Yeah, yo, that shit is hilarious right there, yo. That is hilarious. So let me share my screen. Let's get on some vibes, yo. Let's get on some vibes. Shoo! To all my shoe people in the building. Let me see. Man, oh man. You know what I mean? We was building yesterday, me and the gods, the Four Horsemen. Shout out to the righteous gods. You know what I mean? Daryl Cosman did a nice little presentation last night, touching on life after death, spirit life. You know what I mean? But we trying to get this science debate going. That's why we taking a shot at the comedic cats. Hope y'all got y'all team together, because we ready over here. You know what I mean? It's a spirit science, just like we got physical science. We got spiritual science. You know what I mean? But when you go to the cosmogony and prophecy, yes. You know what I mean? Like right here. It says there are two known things in the universe, eth and corpor. The former is the solvent of the later. So there you have it. Throughout the whole cosmos, beginning and no ending, you have ether and you have corpor. Those are the two things in creation that creates all things. Starting from ether, and then, you know what I mean? So we started from the subliminal materials, raw materials. You know what I mean? From the raw materials to the vortex. See what I'm saying? The vortex, the first cause of creation. So it's like when we're dealing with these comedic cats, if they're not bringing out this vortex, they're not dealing with real science. Because all science got to be proven. They can't prove Geb, Nu, Nud, Shu, Tefnu, and then Osiris emerges, and then you got these different gods that came out of the elements. But when you look at it, it really don't make no sense. They can't put it in real time. They can't make it practical. But the Owaspy science is practical. Book of Jehovah 3:6 is practical. For each and every corporeal world, a corporeal world is a physical world, a planet, a celestial body, terrestrial body. He said, I created a vortex first, and by its rotation, and from the place in the firmament where it travels. Look what it states. I caused the vortex to conceive the physical world. So if we're talking about creation, we're talking about science. If we're not talking about the vortex, we're not talking at all. Geb is not a vortex. None is not a vortex. Shu is not a vortex. Osiris is not a vortex. Ain't none of the primordial gods of Kemet are vortices. All of them are deities with a falsified story of creation. Yeah, Cosmog. Uncat. Shoo! That shit is hilarious. So in Owaspy, in the Book of Cosmogony and Prophecy, it says the same principles apply to all the stars, suns, planets, moons, but differing in manifestation on account of size, motion, density, and relative place. So this is coming out of a book, right? But can we validate this in real time? The strong point of this, it says that the same principles apply to all. What is the same principle what is this universal principle that applies to all? Coming back to that vortex. The vortex is the unified field. The vortex is the principle that applies to all celestial bodies. All these celestial bodies got vortices around them. The Bible doesn't mention the vortex. The Bible doesn't mention it at all. The Bible states, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. That's not a vortex. God is a deity. So that means you have a man floating in space creating the heavens and the earth. While in the Owaspy, it's telling you that the vortex is the first cause of creation. And there's no man, no deity, no God, no Geb, no Osiris standing on the borderline of the vortex, blowing his breath out, creating vortices. That's not happening. Simple science. What is a vortex? See, this is the Owaspy science that we gonna come in. This is just the basics. In fluid dynamics, so we know fluid dynamics is real. A vortex is a region in a fluid in which the flow revolves around an axial line. That's a vortex, which may be straight or curved. Fluid dynamics in physics, physical chemistry, and engineering. Fluid dynamics is a subdiscipline of fluid mechanics that describes the flow of fluids, liquids, and gases. See that? Fluids, liquids, and gases, all following the same one universal rule. The same principles apply to all, as we read. Book of Cosmogony, chapter 1, verse 1. Here is that one universal principle. That circle. You'll hear a lot of times the Israelites state the Most High is power. You know, El is power. But they don't understand the real meaning of what they say when they say power. They think, because you remember, their God is sitting on a throne. Many Israelites believe that their God is sitting on a throne. So that God is displaying power from the throne, right? So look at Book of Jehovah 3:4, what it states, by the power of rotation. See that? The power is determined based off the rotation. The stronger the rotation, the greater the power. The weaker the rotation, the weaker the power. So now, by the power of rotation, swift driving at the periphery, I condense the atmospheric worlds that float in the firmament, which is the realm of the ancestors. And these become my corporeal worlds, the realm of the terrestrials. But notice, the power is determined by rotation. As above, so below. Power of rotation. Here's where the power of rotation is generated, where these red markers are. So if this was a deity, the deity would be standing where the red markers are, blowing their breath into creation, sitting on his throne where these red markers would be. That's where the God would be. That's where the Elohims would be, blowing their breath, creating vortices. But as you see, there's nobody standing on the edge of these borders. These vortices take motion by the force and power of the Creator. Because can't no man do that. We don't have no evidence of a man floating in space creating vortices. Yep, motion in the unified field. The unified field is ethereal. See that? So here's another example. Book of Jehovah 3:3. The whirlwind. That's objective. We can see the whirlwind. So we can come out the Owaspy. We can close the Owaspy now and go and look at the whirlwind. How long you've been looking at the whirlwind and not knowing that the whirlwind, that demonstration, that illustration of the whirlwind is an example of the creator's force and power. Y'all look at this and say, oh, that's nature. That's just no. You're looking at the creator's force and power at work. The creator is doing that right before your eyes, but you're so used to seeing it, you put it off the creator and say, oh, that's nature. That's when air, hot air, and cold air combine and they create this. Yeah, that's creator doing that. Who doing that? Where you see a man floating in space on this illustration right here? Jehovah said, the whirlwind I made as a sign of man of the way of my created worlds. So the creator was showing you that this is how I create worlds, through the same force and power, what you know as the hurricane, what you know as the whirlwind or the tornado. See that? Look what it states. As you see the what? Power of the whirlwind. The power of the whirlwind is determined by the motion, by the rotational force. That determines the power. Power does not exist without motion. If you have no motion, you have no power. Show me a nigga with power with no motion. That power is dormant. It's potential. And the only way that power has potential and it can rise from dormancy is through the motion and through the vortex. The vortex, the motion, the rotation give rise to what we know as force and power. As you see the power of the whirlwind gathering up the dust of the earth and driving it together, know that likewise I bring the Jaya, Aja, and Nebula. These are atmospheric densities, cosmic clouds, cosmic dust that permeates throughout the whole cosmos. The cosmos is not just an empty void of space. It's filled with material, gases, and liquids, abstract, before they turn into vortices. Like how the clouds look, rarefied, cosmic dust is what these Ja'a, Aja, and Nebula is referencing. I bring together the Jaya, the Aja, the Nebula, and the firmament of heaven. By what? The power of the whirlwind I create the corporeal suns, moons, and stars. It's telling you right there, right here. This is the key line. Where my mouse at? Here we go. By the power of the whirlwind. There go the power of this same force and power you see right here, as demonstrated on the earth plane, on a cosmic level, is responsible for creating sun, moon, and stars. When you see this hurricane right here, this one, that's central, where they call the eye of the hurricane. If this was in the cosmos, the eye of the hurricane would be a ball of fire, a central sun, as seen here. See that? This is the same thing. This is a hurricane in the cosmos, but this is in the process of creation. So in this process, that which comes to the center becomes a ball of fire, a globe of fire, what we know as a sun. So when you look at this hurricane, it's the same example on the earth plane. The eye of the hurricane is where the sun would be. The eye of the hurricane is where the planet would be. The eye of the hurricane is where the moon would be or the stars would be. All celestial bodies that you physically see has an invisible vortex surrounding it. And the creator said the whirlwind I made as an example of this invisible power that you can't see with the naked eye. But I'm going to give you condensed clouds so you could see the force and power demonstrated. See that? That force and power you see right there, it exists invisible. You're seeing an invisible force manifest through dust and clouds. The invisible force is using the dust and clouds to show the rotation and force and power. That's why the creator said I created the whirlwind I made as a sign. This is a sign for you, old man. See the clouds, the unseen becoming seen? You know when to say that? In the book of Job? Was that 3? Where that be? Yeah. Say, look, the clouds in the air I bring into view suddenly by different currents of wind. I make the unseen visible and tangible to the man's senses. So right there, it's letting you know that the force and power of the vortex is unseen to man. The only way we're able to see it is by condensed air producing clouds, and we see the invisible force demonstrated here. But what did the verse say again? The clouds in the air I bring into view suddenly by different currents of wind, vortices. I make the unseen visible and tangible to man's senses. So that which is unseen, which is just force and power, becomes seen under different conditions, atmospheric conditions. See that? So it states, by the power of the whirlwind, I create the corporeal sun, moon, and stars. There you have it. One universal order. What did the book of Cosmogony, chapter 1, verse 1 states? The same rules apply to all. That universal all is the vortex. The Bible don't got this. The Commission science don't got this. If you don't start with this, you starting misinformed. If you don't start mathematics with 1, 2, 3, 4, if you started from 4, 5, 6, you misinformed. You're missing out on 1, 2, and 3. These are the fundamental principles of creation. This is the spirit science. This is the Owaspy science. This creator science. This creator gang science. Ain't nobody bringing this to you. Who bringing this to you but the Four Horsemen? Cosmon, Cal, Malachi, Daryl, Cosmon. Ain't nobody going in, you know what I mean? Ain't nobody speaking on this. How long the Owaspy been out? Ain't nobody touching on this. Everybody running from it. Everybody bound to their false gods. In the midst of the vortices, I made them. See that? In the midst is the middle. This is the middle. This is the middle. So all this cosmic dust is being driven to the center, producing this great ball of fire, what we call a sun. That's the solar source. That's the solar energy. The solar energy has to be produced first before any life can be supported within the vortice. If we don't have a central sun, nigga, that's the battery right there. Without the battery, without electricity, we ain't going nowhere. Try to start a car without a battery. Or some type of solar energy. So the solar system, the central hub being the sun, is the first cause of creation. You cannot have a solar system, you cannot have planets, inhabitable worlds, without having a solar system first. You got to have that battery. The sun is a battery. That shit is electrical. So you got to have that first. In the midst of the vortices, I made them. And by the power of the vortices, I turned them on the axis. And I carried them in the orbits I alluded to them. Rather than to the moons of a planet, I have created the vortices. And they carry the moon also. Then you got the sun. Boom. Then you got the sun right there, right? See the sun rotating? The sun is rotating because of the vortex. That sun wouldn't be turning if it wasn't for the vortex turning it, coming back up here again. See that? Coming back up here again. You see how the eye of the hurricane is turning along with everything in the vortex is turning? The same rules apply. So look what Jah say, Book of Jah 3:7. To make the sun, I created a great vortex. See, they can't escape the great vortex. Can't escape it. You got to have the vortex to create anything in the cosmos. To make the sun, I created a great vortex, and within the vortex and subject to it, I made the vortices of many of the corporeal worlds. So that's the solar system. The central sun, the battery, and then you have smaller vortices to support. Look, the sun vortex I caused to rotate, and I gave it power to carry other vortices within it. According to their density and position, they are thus carried forth and around the sun. So here's an example of that. The central sun, you see the planets wrapped within the vortex being carried subject around the vortex. Everything in creation is in motion. Niggas want to tell you that the earth is not moving and all that. That's, you can believe that, but I'm giving you one universal system that could be proven outside of the Owaspy, objectively and illustrative wise. Let's get into that serpent. It's the science. This is the science. Book of Safar. Jehovah said, the sun I made as the head of a serpent, and his felix I made as the body of a serpent. Thus I made the great corporeal serpent. So this, now if you want to talk about symbology, like I want to talk about Geb is the earth and all that, we'll give you some symbology here too, using the serpent as the example of the solar system, the sun being the head and the planets follow along like the body. Look what it states. Why does Owaspy reference the solar system? The Great Serpent is because of its motion. And then here we have, of course, the 12 pictures, 12 stunning pictures of the sun clicked over 12 months at the same place. And you see how the sun is in motion, moving right to left, east to west, because this is being judged off the horizon. The sun rises in the east, right? So as you stand and looking at the sun, it's on the left side. But then when you go to 6 months later, the sun is rising on the opposite side, the right side. So it's showing you each month its motion, its course, and it's moving like a snake, winding. That's why the Owaspy calls it the Great Serpent. That's why the Creator calls it the Great Serpent, but based off its motion. Here's 2 years, 24 months. You see the wind, just like a snake, how a snake winds from right to left on his belly, right to left, east to west, north to south, however you want to flip it. But you see how the sun ain't just rising in the same place every year. The sun is in motion. There go the proof. The sun is not stationary. It oscillates left and right, up and down. Whatever direction because if we stand and looking at the horizon, it's going to appear moving left and right. That's how it's going to appear. It starts with the far left, 6 months later, it's on the far right. Looking at it as you looking at it exactly how it's looked on the picture. So you see the winding of the serpent right here. You see the winding of the Great Serpent. Look at that. See that? That's how the sun is moving throughout the year. 12 months, the sun is doing this, coursing, and you never knew it until now. Until now. Give me a one in the chat if y'all getting this understanding, family. Yeah, family. So let me get back to it. Yeah. So look at the wine. Look at the one. You see the motion of the solar system. And then you have motion of the earth and sun around the Milky Way. So not only is the sun in motion from east to west, it's in an orbit as well. See, a lot of people think the sun is stationary. The sun is stationary in the cosmos, and we're just going around the sun stationary. We're going around the sun in motion. The sun is in an orbit. The same way the earth is in an orbit around the sun is the same way the sun is in an orbit around the Milky Way galaxy. And you right here, even on this example, you see the oscillation right here. Look what it say, path of the sun around the Milky Way. And it's doing the same thing you see up here. It's moving from left to right, right to left, north to south. On this demonstration, it'll be north to south, north then south, or east to west, depending on how you're looking at it. Mechanical waves, light waves, you see the same science. See that? There go the serpent, that great solar energy, the vortex, power, life, electricity. All this is vortexian current. And they go to serpent as the example. Coming back to Creator saying, the solar system I made as the sign of a great serpent. Yeah. See that? But when we come to the Bible, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. They ain't telling you nothing like this. Genesis ain't telling you nothing like this. We talking about a force and power, the creator, that is not a man floating in space, but a force and power, an energy. And look what Jaja say. This is the visible spectrum. Visible light, the electromagnetic spectrum. You got the gamma rays, the X-rays, the UV rays. You got visible light. This is the spectrum of light we see right here. Our existence exists in this spectrum of light, 300 to 700 nanometers. Outside of that, you got the infrared and radio waves. These are the lower frequencies. These are the lower frequencies, the longer waves. This electromagnetic spectrum permeates throughout creation. But notice, look at visible light. Look how thin visible light is on the spectrum. We can't see ultraviolet light. We can't see infrared light with our naked eye. We have to get machinery to see these things or to play with these things. Gamma rays. So this is what we're dealing with right here. The color spectrum stops right here. Just imagine the color spectrums in the UV, in the ultraviolet. That's outside of visible light. Spirits, angels exist outside of visible light. The Drujas, the wanderings, they exist in the infrared, the radio wave. If you notice, if you see any scary movies or any movie portraying demons or evil spirits, their eyes are always red. You'll see movies where they got the pictures and the illustrations that will be on the cover of the actual movie, their eyes be red because they're low, they're vibrating at the lowest frequency. Radio waves is the lowest frequency. The color spectrum of it is red. But the higher realm, where the pure angels at, they over here in the gamma ray spectrum. They're moving at a frequency beyond visible, way beyond visible light. We can't even obtain this. If gamma rays was to, if the angels was to put on some gamma rays, nigga, we'll go blind. That shit'll incinerate niggas. When them angels in the high heavens turn their light up to the new angels now coming in the realm, they fall on their face. When you see the Muslims and falling on their face to pray, that comes from Jaja light being turned on, and they ain't got nowhere to go but down. See that? So this is the color spectrum of visible light. This is what we see. The spirits of the dead exist outside of visible light. That's why we can't see them. We can't see the spirits of the dead because they're outside of visible light. If they are on the upward path, if they more pure, the pure side is the gamma rays. That's the highest purity levels. X-rays, UV rays, meaning those frequencies. The lesser frequencies, the infrared, the slower frequencies, the stagnated frequencies. See that? That's just invisible to the invisible, the seen and the unseen. Because the creator said, I created the seen and the unseen. Right? Where that's at? What did y'all just say? Jehovah said, by virtue of my presence, I created the seen and the unseen worlds. Right? Stop there. The seen and unseen. Coming back to the illustration. This is the seen. The unseen is the UV, the X-ray, and the gamma rays, the infrared, and radio waves. So this is not just make-believe. This is not fairy tale, what we talking about when Jaja say right here, the seen and the unseen. The science of the seen and the unseen is the electromagnetic spectrum. So anytime somebody talking about, you talking crazy about saying unseen things or invisibility, just pull out the electromagnetic spectrum and tell them this is a science. Hit them with the facts, scientific facts. There are things that we cannot see that exist outside of visible light, like the spirits of the dead, the spirits of dead animals. There is an existence outside of this fleshly body, because this fleshly body is being ran by your spirit. Your spirit is unseen. Your spirit exists in the unseen realm. But you are having that physical experience in the 3D dimensional world, the physical world. But that which runs your body is an unseen force called spirit. And the imprint of the body is your angelic body. The angelic side of you is the physical appearance. The spirit is the vortex, the life force. So when Jaja say the unseen and seen worlds, we're talking about the electromagnetic spectrum, things existing within those frequencies. And I commanded man to name them, and he named the seen worlds corpor, meaning the physical worlds, and the unseen worlds S. See, a lot of niggas have a problem with the unseen worlds because it's not tangible to the touch. They can't see it. But the reason they can't see it, coming back to the visible light, it's outside of visible light. So the unseen worlds will exist scientifically in the UV, the ultraviolet realm, the X-ray frequency, the gamma ray frequencies. There are frequencies that exist outside of visible light. That's the facts. Niggas just have a hard time facing the facts that the spirits of people, when they die, live on. A lot of people have a hard time digesting that. They can't fathom it. They try to picture it and they can't. And I get it. But Jaja say you get knowledge, and with knowledge get understanding and wisdom. And your Bible tell you that. So the more you gain information on the subject, the more you become enlightened on it. And look here. It says, to east I gave dominion over corporate. What this is saying is, to the spirit, I gave dominion over the physical. Coming back to what I was saying. The physical body, the physical body is just a vehicle for the spirit. The spirit has dominion over the physical body. Without the spirit, the body would be deceased. It'll be dead. So the spirit is the driving component, the life force, that controls the 12 systems of the body. The body has 12 systems. Your body has 12 systems. Right? Your body has 12 systems, right? Your spirit is in control of these 12 systems. The lymphatic system, the muscle system, the cardiovascular system, the skeleton system. Your spirit is in control of all that. So you're a layered physical person. Your body has layers. So you have 12 systems that the body is made up of: the respiratory, the male and female reproductive, the digestive system, the lymphatic system, the skeleton, the nervous system, the endocrine system. All these systems are composed within one body. So you have 12 systems. But the 13th, the crown, is the spirit. Because without the spirit, those 12 systems cannot be activated. They cannot respond. They cannot exist without the life force of the spirit. So the spirit represents the 13th out of the 12. That's the third. That's the gem. That's the battery. That's the battery pack. The spirit is the battery pack that gets the body going. So when Jaja say, the East or spirit, I gave dominion, power over the physical, the corporal. So that includes your spiritual body over your physical body, and that also includes the atmosphere and corporeal worlds. The atmosphere has an influence and controls the physical, the vortex. To the East, I gave dominion over corporal. With East, I filled all places in the firmament, even within corporal. But corporal, I made into earths, moons, and stars, and suns. So when you hear corporal in the Yawaspi, you know that it's talking about physical worlds. See that? So all this is a science. And this is what we're going to beat these cats up with when it comes time to dealing with Kemetic science versus Owaspi science. They ain't got this. Kemetic niggas ain't got this. What they gonna do? What they gonna do? Pull up Gab? God Gab? This what we doing? This what we doing? This the Kemetic science right here? This what we doing? This what we doing right here? What's this compared to this? Huh? We talking about real science. What's this? Look at Noon. There ain't no vortex. There ain't no vortex. What is that? That's a deity. Look at Geb on the ground. A deity. Geb's supposed to be the earth. Noon's supposed to be the night sky. Come on now. What we dealing with? What we dealing with, yo? See that? Geb, the Egyptian god of the earth. What foolishness they talking about? But we talking over here. At least we talking tangible things that can be proven. How Jehovah creates and dissipates celestial bodies in the process of 4 ages. They don't got this. Them Kemetic cats don't even know this. They don't know that the planet goes through 4 ages. And these ages are the time of creation, when the planet is being created, the time of inhabitation, when the planet is inhabitable for animal life, vegetable life, humans. And then you got the time of barrenness, when the planet is not supportive of vegetation and humans no more. Animal and man become extinct to the planet. They don't know this. And then the 4th age is dissipation. And then the process starts all over again. And this is in comparison to what? The 4 seasons. Now, in the Owaspy, it says each age is 144,000 years. Now, it could be 1,000,000 years. It could be 10,000 years, all I care. But the process of the cycle remains the same, regardless of the number of years. So if if an age is 144,000 years, or if it's 144 million years, or 144 billion years, the same rules apply that they still go through these 4 ages. You know what I mean? Spring gonna roll around. Regardless if spring is 2 or 3 months, it's still gonna go right into summer. Regardless if we have a long summer or a short summer, it's still gonna fall in the fall right after. The process continues regardless of the number of years. So I want you to understand that first before we put a number on the number of years, so you don't get lost on the number of years and overlook the function and process of the cycle. Yes, Daryl Cosmos, salute. So we got 144,000 years for each age. So the inhabitable age of humans on the earth is 144,000 years. Now, some people say, well, wait a minute. Man been on the planet for millions of years. 2 millions of years. Homo sapien been on the planet 300,000, 200,000 years ago. Well, that's interesting nonetheless, because the Owaspy describes these as cycles. Now, cycles roll around. But the only thing here is that each garden is a whole different cycle for human, a whole different human stock. So the stock of humans that's on this planet now, from this creation to now, is not the same stock from the last cycle of the inhabitable age. So 144,000 years is the inhabitable age of humans on the planet, not the age of the planet, but humans on the planet. And humans become extinct based off the lack of vegetation. Because without vegetables, without vegetation, we can't eat. Humans got to eat and drink in order to sustain their existence. Now, if the planet starts to become barren, and deserts appear where where vegetation once was, become desolate, become deserts, then man will cease to exist on the planet. And that comes a point that will happen once the resources are exhausted. If you look at some of these deserts, you'll notice look at Australia. Pull up a picture of Australia. Australia is a desert. You go out there, try to survive out there in that desert, you're going to die. Look at Australia. Let me put Australia desert. Look at this. This is an example of the time of barrenness. So if you don't have vegetation, look how scarce the vegetation is in this picture. Now just imagine the whole planet like that, coming close to the time of barrenness, where nothing can generate and grow off the planet. It's just like fall. You can't plant no seeds in fall, or in fall and winter. You got to wait till the season roll around. Now look how desolate, look how barren Australia is. See that? Look at where the greenery at. It's damn near on the outside. But look at the core of the country. It's desolate. That's a sign of planetary barrenness. All this is a sign of planetary barrenness. See that? The whole planet is going to look like this when it comes to what? The third age, the time of barrenness. When it comes to time of barrenness, the planet will look like this. Man will cease to exist because he can't what? He can't feed himself. See that? Planetary barrenness. And we can do the same thing with Africa. If you look at the African desert, it's the same thing. Look how desolate Africa is. Look at that. This is Africa. This is the motherland. But look at the north of the motherland. Look at all that. That's what you call planetary barrenness, where nothing can generate and grow in these regions. The vegetation has been exhausted from these regions. But look at the great hole of vegetation in Africa. It's in the Congo. It's right up in here. That's where the greatest untapped resource probably ain't been touched yet, because how deep the forest and the jungle is in these regions. But it's not like the whole of Africa is greenery. Look at the Middle East, what they consider the Middle East. Look at Saudi Arabia, nigga. That shit is done for. You gotta have artificial water, and you gotta have imported food over here. Ain't nothing growing over there. You can't drop a seed over there in Saudi Arabia. It's done. You gotta. That's planetary barrenness. See that? So what I'm showing you is that the Earth itself is showing you signs of the third age, planetary barrenness. The Earth is not a flushes, vegetated planet like when we first start off. When man first appeared on the planet, when everything was in fruitful and multiply, where bananas everywhere, melons everywhere, man just eating freely, just picking it off the tree. This ain't them times no more. Yeah. Says, first as vapor, the vortex carry it forth. See now, it says vapor. That's the cosmic dust. That's the material. That's the gas. That's the raw gas materials for planet making. First as vapor, gas, the vortex carry it forth. And it condenses, and its friction engenders heat, and it is molten, becoming as a globe of fire in heaven. They're showing you the process of creation right here. The very first process of creation is taking that vapor and giving it and putting it in a vortex, putting it in motion. And then from that, it condenses, and friction engenders heat in the center of the vortex. And what happens? It becomes molten, becoming as what? A globe of fire in heaven. That's the sun. Then it takes its place as a newborn world, and I set it in its orbit. So this showing you a function of creation, from a vortex to a ball of fire. It says, next, in the next age I bring it into Simu, for it is ripe for the bringing forth of living creatures, and I bestow the vegetable and animal kingdom. So now, after the planet is created, it's a time where vegetables and animals is put on the planet. So what I'm showing you, that it's a function to creation. That's the point here, the function. And then it states what? Next it enters Hutu, for it is past the age of beginning, the time of barrenness, even as the living who are in advancing years. Next it enters Adu, and nothing can generate upon it. Just like I showed you the deserts. The whole planet will become a desert. It's called planetary barrenness. Here's another example, Earth's 10 largest deserts. Look at the deserts in comparison to the vegetation. Look how scarce the vegetation is on the planet. The greatest resource of vegetation is in South America. Look at America. Look at the West Coast. All that is desolate. You got to go up to Canada to survive in a minute. That's where all the vegetation is. Look at the East Coast. There ain't much vegetation on the East Coast. The west of America is a desert. So what happens if that desert begins to spread out more and spread out more to the East Coast? Then what? Man will have to migrate. See what I'm saying? Look at Africa. Africa's gone. All they got is the Congo left for vegetation. See that? Look at Australia. Australia is done for. Look at Australia. It's done for. Look at the vegetation on the outskirts right here. They done for. They about to get up out of there. They about to go extinct. But look at the islands. Look how much vegetation is on the islands. Or these bigger islands. That's where they had to migrate to. You look at Asia. They damn near desolate too. You gotta have to look up ahead. Russia. They got fresh greenery up here. So what I'm showing you is planetary bearingness in real time, because these are the Earth's 10 largest deserts. So everything we come in with is objective. Ain't none of this make-believe. Ain't none of this Gab laying on his back, resting for a little while, for 7 days. Ain't none of that. Nu ain't sitting over there bent over looking at Gab. What you doing? Nah, we hitting you with real facts and real science. This is play. See that? The comedic science is play when you compare to what we coming with. And when they see what we coming with, and then you try to revert back to this and you're around and talk about Gab, the Egyptian Book of the Dead, Gab. Come on, man. Ain't no comparison. Y'all think just because it's old, y'all got no. Y'all about to look stupid because now we're going to put the blame on y'all. Look at this. What's this? Keep in mind the Europeans gave you the understanding of how to read all this. Y'all talk about fairy tales. This is it. This is the first Marvel comic book. The first DC. Your Wolverine, Spider-Man, X-Men. You know what I mean? This is it. Look at this cat right here. Look at that. That's a female with a goddamn snake head. And don't get it twisted. Oh, yeah, we get the mysteries. And look at Ptah. That's Ptah right there. They want to talk about the Owaspi, but this is the Kemetic science. They don't even know what this is. Their understanding of this comes from the European. Our understanding from the Owaspi is objective. So we outside the European's perspective. When we talking about planetary bearingness, we're not talking about no European. We ain't talking about no man. We dealing with objective facts and science that any race could look at and agree on. The sky blue. Any could look at the map and say, okay, the Earth's 10 largest deserts. Okay. All nationalities could look at that and be like, yeah. Because all is affected by planetary bearingness. Regardless of what your nationality is, we're going to be where the New Jerusalem coming down at? If it's planetary bearingness. New Jerusalem coming down in the time of barrenness in the desert? You're going to have male prostitutes running around, whoremongers, sorcerers, and stealing in the desert. Yeah, yo. We got him on this. And then look, this is the next age. Because like I said, it's 4 ages. Time of creation, time of inhabitation, time of barrenness, and time of dissipation. Now this says, then cometh ooze, and it is spirited to the way into the unseen realms. Thus I create, this is creator talking. Thus I create and dissipate planets, sun, moon, and stars. The creator said he dissipates. This is dissipation, right? This is an example of dissipation. And here's an example of cosmic dust from the dissipation. And from that dissipation of cosmic dust, guess what? It starts all over again from the vortex. It takes that cosmic dust and create a vortice. See that? This is the example. From dissipation, that cosmic dust, it starts the vortex again. And then from the vortex, we go into the 4 ages. Time of creation, time of inhabitation, time of barrenness, time of dissipation, and the process starts all over again, just like the 4 seasons. Spring, summer, fall, winter. Spring, summer, fall, winter. Same process. Time of creation, time of inhabitation, time of barrenness, time of dissipation. Time of creation, time of inhabitation, time of barrenness, time of dissipation. And the process starts all over again. See that? And keep in mind, every time the time of inhabitation comes around, keep in mind, creation of man and animals are created again. It's a whole new stock of creation. So we're living in the inhabitable age right now. But there's going to come a time when humans is not going to be on the planet. They're going to go extinct, just like every animal, and everything goes extinct. There's a time when humans will go extinct. And then the process will have to roll back around for man to be created again. during the next inhabitable age, when that time roll around, just like when spring roll around and summer roll around, you got to wait for the mango tree. The mango tree, the apple tree, the orange tree, each fruit comes every year. A new stock of fruits come every year. The mango tree, the apple tree don't give fruit all year round. The peach tree don't give fruit all year round. We about to go into fall. You know what I mean? Watermelons is about to be out the door. You can't get no watermelons in the middle of winter. You got to wait till spring and summer roll around to plant the seeds to get some new stock of watermelon. It's the same thing with humans. Each inhabitable age is a new stock of humans. And that's what the Owaspi is explaining when it talks about the 4 ages. That's what I said right here. Regardless of the duration of time, whether it be 1,000,000 years or 100,000 years, the 4 ages proceed the same. Time is measured in arc cycles. So we got enough Kemetic science. Owaspi science. They don't talk about arc cycles in the goddamn Kemetic science. This ain't where the arc cycles at here. What are they talking about here? What's this? What's this? What Kemetic science is this? Oh, man. You just want to know. There you go right there. What's this? How you think y'all got this information right here? Them European Egyptologists gave you this. They did the work. What does it say? The Egyptian version of the cosmos as seen on the drawings from what? The Book of the Dead. Huh? Here you see who? Shoo! Hold up. Look. Shoo! The god of air separates the earth. God Geb from the sky goddess Nut. So that's what's going on here. You got, and this is from the Book of the Dead. Who brought you the Book of the Dead for you to even expound on this subject matter? Do I need to pull up the white boy? Do I? May I? Mm-hmm. Yeah, yo. We got all these white boys with their hand on Bible. With on Kemetic literature. There we go. Carl Richard. What is What he do? You wouldn't even be saying nothing about this picture right here. You would have no understanding about Shu being the air god, and then you got Geb being the god of the earth, and Nut being the sky goddess. You wouldn't know nothing about that if it wasn't for him. He gave you that understanding. He is widely known for his Optimus Magnum. Now, let me read the highlight. First translator of a complete Book of the Dead manuscripts. All right, I'm done right there. That's what I'm looking for, the highlight. See that? First translator of a complete Book of the Dead manuscript. He the first one to do it. You want to talk about Shu? He gave you Shu. If he translating this, and then we come to the conclusion of this, and then it's the Egyptian version of the cosmos as seen on the drawings from the Book of the Dead. So he had to translate this. He gave you Shu. He gave you Shu right here. That's him. He gave you that. Shu. Matter of fact, let's take a shoe break real quick.
Shoo! And that track I'm set.
En dat track unbed het.
Shoo! And that track I'm set.
Track ast.
Nuke
ast.
Shoo!
Nuke I'm set. Track ast.
And that track I'm set.
Nuke ast.
Shoo!
En dat track unbed het.
Shoo!
Nuke shoe. Unbed het.
Shoo!
Nuke shoe. Unbed het.
Shoo!
Nuke shoe.
We can return back to the lesson. So that's what you're gonna get from them. That's what you get. Neck, shoo, all that talk, they talk. It came from him. The Egyptian Book of the Dead, the complete papyrus of Anna. And this is Wallace Bulge. You know what I mean? Wallace Bulge came after, but he the first dude to spawn this. First translator of a complete Book of the Dead manuscript. A published translation of a manuscript dated to the Ptolemaic era and coined the name Book of the Dead. The spell numbering system, which is still in use. See that? Still in use. Yeah. Yeah, he gave you that. It says, what's his name again? Carl Richard. Mr. Richard even coined the phrase Book of the Dead. He gave you that. And look, he was also a pioneer in the field of African linguistics. Come on, man. Richard developed a standard alphabet for transliterating African languages. So you think he ain't give you shoo if he over here transliterating words and translating and doing all this stuff? He gave you that, man. And look at him. He gave you Haru, the myth of Haru. And he's a student. Look what it says. He was a student of Carl Richard. He's a student of the guy who translated the Book of the Dead. So he's following up on the works of Shu. And look, another one. Look what it says. Gaston Maspero. Look at Maspero. Why we got another Egyptian Book of the Dead? Why is the Book of the Dead associated with Maspero? What does it say? Foremost Egyptologist of his generation, he began his career teaching Egyptian languages. He gave you Shu. He followed up on Shu. He's teaching Egyptian languages. Come on now. Look what it says. Maspero was highly regarded for his versatility and contribution to Egyptology. He authored the comprehensive Historia Ancient Des, whatever, and was the first editor and translator of the pyramid text, known as the Book of the Dead. He the first to edit and translate. See that? So he came back behind who? Carl Richard. Followed up, did some editing, did some redacting, modifying. So what we're saying is that your comedic science coming here is all, your whole understanding is on the shoulders of Carl Richard, Gasparo, what's the other cat? Fortner and Bulge. Y'all can't escape them. So when you say, shoo, The God of the air, that you got that from them. They tell you how to shoot. There you go, Asar. Shilimung, Asiatic. Figurine of Asar, member of the Hellopolitan Enad. So this is this creation. This is how it works. You got Atum, creator God. Now keep in mind, it say God. Right here, it say, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. So you see the same deified concept of creating things coming from a deity in Bible, and you see the same thing coming from Kemet. Atum. If you was to put in Atum, would Atum come up as a deity? Well, let's see. Atum. And there he is. That's Atum. He had deity. There you go, Atum right there. See that? He ain't a vortex. You know what I mean? He a man. So they go Atum. He's a man floating in space who created air. Because from Atum comes Shu. Shu. And Tefnut. Tefnut. Air and moisture comes from Atum. And then from air and moisture comes the earth and sky. See that? But the crazy thing is air and moisture have to exist in sky. But this is the creation. This is how they create stories. This is how the creation story goes. We already showed you a breakdown of how the Owaspi gives his creation account objectively. But here, what do we see? We see Atum. We see him. Who's Atum? Tim is what? The primordial god in the Egyptian mythology. He's a god. So you got creator God, creating air, moisture, earth, and sky. And then earth and sky creates Osiris, Isis, Seth, Nephte, how you pronounce Nephte? And then you have Horus. Osiris, Isis, and Horus supposed to be the Trinitarian. But look at that. This is the Kemetic creation myth. You think these niggas are about to come with this and it's going to override what I just came out with? And, you know what I mean? It's like, yo, if they're not doing their homework and step into this debate, nigga, we going to have them niggas looking foolish. We going to have them looking foolish. For the states. In addition to their roles in the creation of the cosmos, members of the Enads are involved in other cycles of life and rebirth. For example, the sky goddess Nut is believed to give birth to the sun each day. And in some traditions, she also gave birth to the stars when observing the night sky. You see how vague this is? This is just as vague as the Bible creation story. The Egyptians may have noticed that the outer arm of the Milky Way resembled a female form and identified this celestial feature with the goddess Nut as a goddess responsible for the sun's daily rebirth. Nut was also according. See, now they're not telling us how the sun was made, the orbit, how it works, how, you know what I mean? Like, this is play. This is the fairy tale. If the biblical creation story is fairy tale, this is the father of it. This is the father of the fairy tale. What else to say? Nut was also accorded a role in the resurrection of the dead. Representation of Nut of the sealing of the new kingdom. Royal tomb shows the goddess with the sun entering her mouth and passing through her star-covered body during the night. So all they doing is talking about sunrise and sunset. Ain't nothing scientific about that. They created a mythology, a zoomorphized mythology based off the coming and going of the sun. That ain't science. That ain't science. That's a cycle. She often appears on the inside lids of sarcophagus, protecting the deceased until he or she, like the sun god Ra, would be reborn. Nut can also appear on the lids of coffins as a woman with wings, protecting across the chest of the deceased. Now they want to talk about angels with wings. You know, when you make fun of the Christians, the baby angel with wings. But here we have the concept of angel with wings. You have nut with wings. See that? That's the same symbol you see Ma'at in. But who that? That's nut. That's Nut. That's the angel right there. The concept of an angel having wings, what did it say? What did it say right here? Read that. Protecting the deceased until he or she, like the sun god Ra, would be reborn. Nut can also appear on the lids of coffins as a woman with wings spread protectively across the chest of the deceased. See that? Angel wings. That's where it came from. Winged angels, that idea? So yeah, man, they ain't got nothing on the science that we come up with, man. They go into architectural works and all that. That's just the 23rd arc cycle. We'll bring that home. That's the 23rd arc cycle for us. And right here, we're dealing with arc cycles, right? So this the arc cycles right here. You know, we got arc cycles from the creation of humans to where we at now. And the architect and the Great Pyramids. Oh, that's the 23rd arc cycle right here in the time frame, right there. See that? So Owaspi gives us a timeline based off of arc cycle, so we know where we at. You want to talk history, nigga? We the best niggas to talk history dealing with the timeline. Yeah. So in this timeline, you got the arc cycles. Each arc cycle has a name and a measure of years and events that took place during the arc cycles. That's the highlight of that arc cycle. So the highlight of the first arc cycle is the creation of mortals, where man is created, being able to sustain himself on the planet due to the planet being inhabitable to support human life. See, people think humans been on the planet for millions of years straight, but that's false. Humans go through periods of creation and extinction. Now, some people, it's hard to grasp the fact. What do you mean create? Like, yeah, man, it's just like when summer rolls around and a new flock of fruits grow on the tree. It ain't the same trees the same fruits from last year. It's a whole new bunch. That's creation, creating new fruit, creating seed. So when it's right for the earth, it's right for humans again. The Creator will create man and woman in pairs. So you have the first era of civilization. You got the time of the deluge, the sinking of the continent of Pan. And you got the present time, all right there broken down. So you got 48,000 years from the creation of man to the flood. From the flood to man, 24,000, giving a total of 72,000 years right here. 48,000 years plus 24,000 years equals 72,000 years. 72,000 years is half of 144,000 years. 144,000 years is the inhabitable age for humans on the planet. So we're at the halfway marker, a little past the halfway marker of the inhabitable age. And I said the proof of that is through the deserts. When I showed you them 10 deserts, 10 largest deserts on the planet, and show you how hostile and how barren those lands are in comparison to the habitable regions where vegetation would exist, you see that man has exhausted the planet through agriculture. Just for the time man been on the planet, through migration, using up the resources. It's just like a garden. When you use up the soil over and over, the soil becomes no good. It's exhausted of its resources, and you got to plant somewhere else. So just imagine looking at the whole planet, migrations of human patterns moving around the planet, migrating and sustaining until the resource of the soil is exhausted, and then they got to migrate somewhere else and going throughout the planet like that. So if you look at the planetary bearingness with the 10 great deserts, you can see the migrational patterns that man went through based off agriculture alone. Not even talking the fallen meteorites and the fallen nebulas and the aja that the earth goes through where debris falls on the planet, not even including that, but just the migration of human pattern and agriculture, just those two alone. That's right. And here's another map. We got the we gotta suppress this one. The same thing with the numbers and the years at the end. So you got the sign. The first era of civilization was 43,553 BC. Basically, 45,000 years ago was the first era of civilization, meaning the first time the planet was fully inhabited all around, kind of like how it is now, where you could go anywhere on the planet, take a vacation to the Hawaiian Islands, to anywhere, Guam, places that's remote, you could travel to them. There was a point in the prior to our current civilization that the planet had reached a zenith of humans civilization, and that was 45,000 years ago. And then you have the sinking of the continent of Pan in the Pacific Ocean. That was 22,553 BC, basically 25,000 years ago from our present time. That's when the continent of sand sunk in the Pacific Ocean. And according to the Bible, that's the flood of Noah. So the 23rd arc cycle is from what? 3953 BC to 1553 BC. This is the time of the Old and Middle Kingdom of Egypt. And this is the 23rd arc cycle. Now coming back up real quick on the map, the 23rd arc cycle. So we look here, this is where the Egyptian time period is, the 23rd arc cycle. So you got 22 arc cycles previous to Egypt with human civilizations that have been going on prior to Kemet. So we got you parked in the corner. We got you parked in the 23rd arc cycle, Kemet. That's the furthest you niggas could go. Because all your science is based around Kemet. Our science is based around creation. So we can move forward and backward on the arc cycles. We can go to the time of the flood, which predates Kemet. We can go to the first era of civilization, which predates Kemet, and find artifacts of those time periods going back to 45,000 years ago, to 24,000 years ago, 18,000 years ago. That predate Kemet. Gobekli Tepe, predate Kemet. And then beating up the Bible again, biblical timeline placed in the WASP timeline to show the inconsistencies. The creation of man is 3761 BC. That's when the Hebrew calendar begins. Bereshit Ra Elohim Waha Aretz, as you see here, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. That started in the year 3761 BC. That falls within the 23rd arc cycle for us. The 23rd arc cycle is 2,400 years. The arc of Spita in the Owaspi, that time period is from 3953 BC to 1553 BC, and 3761 BC fits within the 23rd arc cycle. That's when your God said in the beginning, I created the heavens and the earth, right? And then you got the flood of Noah going on down. So your whole concept of Bible is within the 23rd arc cycle. Your whole concept of Kemet is within the 23rd arc cycle. See that? They go Kemet within the 23rd arc cycle. So you got the Hebrew calendar of creation, and then you got the Nakata period of ancient Egypt. Then you got pre-dynastic Egypt. Then you got the Old Kingdom, all within the 23rd arc cycle. So all these committed cats is going to be locked in this block right here. We're going to park these niggas in the 23rd arc cycle. We're going to park them here. So when it comes time to the timelines and the arc cycles, we're going to park them niggas right here in the 23rd arc cycle and let them know where they at. This way you at in our timeline of history. You niggas can't go no further than this. You talking about creation, you're going to float in the Geb, Shu, Atum, and we got you niggas because we got the real objective truth, vortexia, and how it creates objective science. You niggas got subjective science. Shit you got to believe in. You got to accept it. We don't have to accept it. The truth stands alone. Truth is greater than facts. Because you could have the facts and they could be wrong. Oh, how can facts be wrong? Let me give you an example. Nigga, Jack and Jill ran up the hill. Right? You know the fairy tale. 2,000 years later, some archaeologists discovered a book, Jack and Jill Ran Up the Hill. And they estimate to say, like, look, this possibly could be Adam and Eve, the first man and woman named Jack and Jill ran up the hill. Now, it's a fact that they got the artifact, but it's not the truth. It's subjectively based off what they think it is. And that goes for any goddamn subjective research dealing with information that's not objectively showing you something outside what the book is saying. If you got to believe it, it's subjective. So here you have ancient Egypt all within Middle Kingdom, New Kingdom, or the middle, the old pre-dynastic, old, middle, and new, and the Middle Kingdom is all within the 23rd arc cycle. You want to go to the New Kingdom, we go into the 24th arc cycle. You got you niggas parked, nigga. You biblical niggas, and you got dang on comedic niggas. We got you niggas parked. Y'all niggas following the deity. Jehovah is not a man, right? We've been saying that, right? The Jehovah in the Bible is a man. Ain't he? With the blue letter Bible. The Jehovah in the Bible is a man. He has shape, figure, and form like a man. Strong's, who gave you the definitions. See, God is a man, yo. A ruler is a man. A judge is a man. Angels are men. So God is a man. But Jehovah said, I am not in the image of men. I think there's a lot of niggas overlook this. When Malachi Maccabee did his round in the debate, his round was based off of this. Jehovah not being the image of a man. And they cross-comparing it with Bible to show that the biblical God is in the image of a man. So now we have a conflict of interest. Because the biblical God is a man sitting on a throne, while the creator is not a man sitting on the throne, but is the ever-present. In the Book of Wars against Jehovah 55:7 it states, because of the self-gods have come against you, they are against me, thy creator. Because they have assumed to be creator. See that? That's how I like to stop there. You know, I like to stop in the middle. Look what it states. Because they have assumed to be creators. What did it say about the Egyptian God right here? Let's go back up. What did it say right here? What did that say? Creator, God, Atum. What did Waspi say? What did Waspi say? Because they have assumed to be creators. What Atum doing? What Atum doing? He's assuming to be the creator. Now look at God El. Watch this. God El, same thing. We're exposing these false gods now. Right here, on this. What that say? What that say? El is the leader of the Canaanite gods, the creator. The creator. Let's bring this over. Let's bring this over. What does it say? Atum, creator God. What does it say? El is the leader of all Canaanite gods, the creator. What do Waspi say? What do Waspi say? Because they have assumed to be creators. Let's read that again. Because the self-gods have come against you, they are against me also, your creator. because they have assumed to be creators and thus proclaim themselves for their own glory. Here is the own glory right here. Their own glory to the Egyptians, their own glory to the Canaanites. These false pretending gods who assume to be creators are being exposed in the Owaspi as being false. And these are your gods who you hold on to daily. Before these times, the false gods were content to proclaim their own names. But now, lo and behold, they have made the Lord God as the creator and set him up as a man on a throne to worship. The Owaspi is exposing the fact that the Lord God who you think is the creator is false. And when we go to Bible, what does it say here? In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Verse 2, Genesis 2:4. These are the generations of the heavens of the earth where they were created in the day that the Lord God made the heavens and the earth. What do Waspi say? Before these times, the false gods were content to proclaim their own names. But now, lo and behold, they have made the name Lord God as the creator and set him up as a man on the throne to worship. Now, here's proof of that. Because when I asked, what's his name? Tazoriak, he agreed that the Most High sits on the throne, which coincide with the Owaspi validating that they following false gods. That's why they don't want to deal with the situation. That's why he ran from the debate, because I was going to expose that hand. See, he says it right here.
Sits on his throne and give orders.
So hold up. You said the Most High sits on the throne? The Creator sits on the throne. Is that what you're telling me?
That's what I said.
So right there, he admits that the Most High sits on the throne. But the Owaspi states, lo and behold, they have made the Lord God as the Creator and set him up as a man on a throne to worship. So Captain Tazoriak is in the inspiration of a false god, him and his whole organization. And look what the Owaspi states right here about the Creator. Behold, I, meaning Jehovah, Yahuwah, am the ever-present and not in the figure or image of a man, but I am the all space and place doing my will through my angels and through the souls of men. So right here, this one verse is cut and dry. Behold, I am the ever-present, not in the figure or image of a man. The Creator is not a man. That's what the Owaspi is saying. Who you call Jehovah is not a man, but is describing himself as ever-present. Ever-present means something that has always been. You cannot have form and figure and say that you had always been, because there was a point where you would have had to be created, and that would have been your beginning marker. If the Creator is ever-present, that means he's everywhere present. And when he creates, he put motion into cosmic dust to create vortices, and in return create worlds, still unseen to man, demonstrating the force and power. So it shows you how far behind the Israelites are, because they worship their Most High as an idol, a man sitting on the throne. Look at this. God's Book of Ben Esquer, verse 40, 15. Verse 40, chapter 40, verse 15. Look what it states. I will make it plain to them that to worship a spirit, they say God is a spirit, though he be a God, is but the giving of their own soul into bondage. For they shall in that day understand that the Great Spirit, the ever-present, look what it states, is not an idol in the figure of a man sitting on a throne. The Owaspi is making it clear to us that the Creator is not a man sitting on a throne, but you've been bamboozled to believe that this is the Creator, a man sitting on a throne. As states that El is the leader of the Canaanite gods, the Creator. When you go to the Strong's Concordance, God is El. God is El. There is El right there. El, God, right? And what is God associated with? Look, this is El, right? You see El. You see El right here as the leader of the Canaanite gods, the creator. That's El sitting on his throne. That's Tazariot God right there. You just heard him say it out of his own mouth. They made images of their God, right? That's their God. When we come to the Strong's Concordance, what does it say? Associated with God. Idol. Idols. These are idols of your God. But your God is a spirit. He's an angel. But they made depictions of the angels. They made depictions of what the clairvoyant and clairaudience people seen, the mediums, and the artists wrote and drew, painted what they seen. Idols. What did the verse say? What did the verse say? Look what it states. This is what you got to wake. We got to wake them up to. For they shall in that day understand. See, they don't have this understanding yet. The Israelites don't have the understanding yet. JJ 7000 don't got this understanding yet. Tazariak don't got this understanding yet. Zion Lex don't got this understanding yet. Huh? Nathaniel of IUIC ain't got this understanding yet. General Yohana, ISUPK do not have this understanding yet. Zabak do not have this understanding yet. For they shall in that day understand. But it's going to come a time. Because you hear it out. And you know we're telling the truth. You know it's hitting home. Especially if you're dealing with truth. For they shall in that day understand that the great spirit, the ever-present Jehovah, Yahuwah, is not an idol in the figure of a man sitting on a throne. Is not an idol, right? Not an idol. What did the Strong's Concordance say about El? Idols. There's an association to El right here, the Hebrew God, or in Hebrew right here, the Aleph and the Lamed. That's El in Hebrew. But then you scroll down, it's associated with idols. And then the Awaspi just says, what? Not an idol in the figure or image of a man sitting on a throne. So being that we're exposing that the creator is not a man sitting on a throne, who are these men claiming to be creator? Who are they? Huh? Who was El? He's sitting on the throne claiming to be creator. Look at Atum. See Atum? Look at him. He's sitting on his ass right there, claiming to be the creator. There he is. They go Atum sitting his ass on the throne. But look what it states, creator God. Same thing with this one. Look what it states, creator God. And then the Awaspi exposed the fact that, look what it say, because they have assumed to be creators. Look at that. Look how cold that is. The Lord God assumed to be the creators. The Lord God as the creator, and they set himself up as a man on the throne of worship. Y'all niggas worship the gods. There go your God right there. Kiss the feet of the boot like Jehu of your God. There go your God sit on the throne. There go you. There go Tazariak right there giving homage to his God. That's how it's going to be in the kingdom. You're going to be in them little bird nests, walking up to God, offering him up burnt offerings while he's sitting on the throne chilling. Same thing with the Kemetic niggas. Look at Osiris. Osiris sitting on the throne. Osiris sitting on the throne too. There goes Osiris right there. He's sitting on the throne too. See? Look at Osiris sitting on his throne. And look at the headdress. They got the same headdress on. Look at El. So there you got Osiris sitting on the throne. Atum sitting on his ass. So all these cats is deified, claiming to be creator. Waspi is exposing that. What Jaja say? What Jaja say? One verse. Behold, I am the ever-present, not in the figure or image of a man. Huh? Precept upon precept, here a little, there a little. Come back up. What Jaja say? What Jaja say? They have made the Lord God as the creator and set him up as what? A man on a throne to worship. Y'all niggas worshiping false gods. They will learn in that day that what? The great spirit, the ever-present, is not an idol in the figure of a man sitting on the throne. When y'all gonna learn? When y'all gonna learn? What book of Divinity chapter 1, verse 5 states? Whatsoever is worshipped, having comprehensible form or figure, is an idol. Is an idol. What did the Strong's Concordance say? Idols. What is idols associated with? El. Who is El? You already know. Your goddamn God of the Bible. There he is, right here. Let me bring him back up. See him? Sit him on his throne. You see him even right here sitting on his throne. Show God sitting on his throne. See that? There you go, God. Your God. There you go, sit on his throne. There goes Cyrus sitting on his throne. See that? Whatsoever is worshipped, having comprehensible form or figure, is an idol. See that? He that worships an idol, whether of stone or wood, whether of stone or wood, see the stone over here? You see the wood over here? Whether stone or wood, or whether it be a man or an angel, God is an angel and God is a man simultaneously, right? Sinneth against the creator. You niggas is sinning against the creator, man. Tazariak sinning against the creator. Guerrilla Hebrew. All these Hebrew Israelites right now are sinning against the creator by admitting that their God is a man sitting on a throne. And that the Most High is going to come back and do battle with the heathens and destroy the nations. You are sinning against the creator with that outlook because it's false. It's not the truth. You are under the God spell. Been under the God spell. We are trying to break you from the God spell. Look at the book of Ben, 4:3-5. It has been said, Jehovah is a person. No one knows this, for his magnitude is incomprehensible. You can't comprehend the creator. That's what it's saying. That's what it's saying. So many verses, man. So we just showing and proving, yo. We just showing and proving, exposing the fact that y'all worshiping an angel. Y'all worshiping a God. A false God out there. You dig? 2 hours in. What'd you say? That boy wearing a bodysuit. Yeah, bro. They can't say nothing about the gang. They can't say nothing about us. Yeah, facts. Yep, Antiquity and Villages, exactly, yup. Been on that joint for years. But we exposing these cats. They admit that they God sit on the throne.
Sits on his throne and give orders.
So hold up. You said the Most High sits on the throne? The Creator sits on the throne. Is that what you're telling me?
That's what I said.
There's Most High, go right there. He said his Most High sit on the throne. If you look closely, that is Yahweh. You see the tetragrammaton. And then he is sitting on a wheelchair. That's the wheelchair God. The Lord God is the wheelchair God. That's a depiction from the Persian era of Yahweh. They got sitting on the throne. This is what they believe. God flowing through space, floating through space. Yeah, man, we got these cats big time, yo. They ain't got nothing for us. Yeah, the wheelchair God. Let's go to a commercial break.
Anetrak am set.
Anetrak unbet het.
Shoo! Anetrak am set.
Chrak ast.
Nuke
ast.
as. Shoo!
Nuke am set. Chrak ast.
Anetrak am set.
Nuke
as.
ast.
Shoo!
Anetrak unbet het.
Shoo!
Nuke shoo.
Back to our regular scheduled programming. You know what I mean? Had to take a shoo moment. But really, they ain't got nothing for us, man. To be honest, the comedic cats ain't got nothing for us, yo. You know what I mean? Dealing with the spiritual science we coming with, I don't think they got nothing for it. They ain't got nothing for what we coming with. Hebrews ain't got nothing for what we coming with. This is Osiris. Judgment Hall of Ma'at. What they gonna come with, yo? From what I displayed, showing us pictures of Osiris and this is from the second temple of Kemenhotep III. How that's gonna compare to what we just brought out? The Judgment Hall of Ma'at. That just my eye. See that? See, this is a wedding ceremony. See that? The Osiris. What science is this? What comedic science is this? Who is Osiris, the god of the dead? He's a mythical person. What is this myth? What is the reality of the myth? And explain the reality of the myth with the literature, as we've been doing with the Owaspi. Everything I brought out with the Owaspi was chapter and verse, and then proved scientific illustration in the back. What the eye trying to say, you know. See, we got science all over the place, man. The unseen becoming seen. The Great Serpent. We got so much literature and science. Another example of the vortex. The positive and negative force of the vortex. See, the positive force of the vortex is from east to west. The power's on, like, looking from the top. The negative force is from north to south. That's what gives it that tunnel vision. You get that tunnel vision right there. That's the force and power. These are the yin and the yang. The positive and negative. The battery of life is the vortex. The battery of life. Here's an example of the 4 ages with the 4 seasons. Cross comparison. See that? So we always got something to lean back on objectively to back something that you would consider subjective as far as the 4 ages on the planetary level. It's the orbit of the solar system. So when we talk about the 4 ages, and then it starts off into another cycle of 4 ages, this is the orbit right here. The solar system is orbiting the Milky Way, and it's split up into 8 slices of 4 ages. You know what I mean? We're in the 7th magnitude, the 7th sum. So we're the 7th stock of the inhabitable world since the first stock. So basically, we're the 7th fruit. If you picking apple trees, we're the 7th This year was the seventh fruit of apple trees that we ate today of fruit. But we started seven years ago. But this year is where we got this particular fruit. So we're just showing you how it works with the seasons. Each one of these sums are 4 seasons. Spring, summer, fall, and winter. It's a year. Each one of these are a year in layman terms. So we in the 7th year, second age, half of the inhabitable age. So we got it broken down to like the time periods like that for us, dealing with the WASP. So this is the inhabitable age. The inhabitable age for men is 144,000 years, broken down into 2 halves of 72,000 years. So this is the first half from the creation of man to the first half, and then from the second half to the extinction of man. Just skipping through, sliding through. So they go to, the inhabitable age. So we're on this side of the inhabitable age. We're at the 25th arc cycle. The total of arc cycles is 48 arc cycles for the inhabitable age. And half of 48 is 24. And we're in the 25th arc cycle. So we got the timeline down to a science. And this is just the mathematics, let alone putting the AD and the BC just to make it understandable for you to get it, for those who don't understand the time periods that the OSP lays out. So you have the Simun age. This is the first age. Each age is 144,000 years, broken into 2 halves of 72,000 years. Those 72,000 years is broken down into further 24,000 year periods called Gadol periods. These deal with planetary or vortexing in temperature, decreasing in temperature. Because the vortex, just like a spin, you spin the bottle. You spin the bottle, it starts off fast, and it gradually slows down. Same thing with the vortex. And the slowing down of the vortex is every 24,000 years, and planetary changes take place, right? So it starts off at 105, and then to 100 to 99, Gadol degrees, or vortexing in temperature. Now look in the Book of Knowledge. It states, by Jehovah in mastery over his person created he countless worlds, of which the corporeal earth is one, and he created the living thereon, and the time was 1 Gadol, 24,000 years. So a Gadol is a 24,000 years period in the Owaspy. But the time he created animal and man in this Gadol would be considered the 6th Gadol of the first age. The 6th Gadol degree is when Jaja created the living. And that's back in the Book of Knowledge 417. And the time was 1 Gadol. He says he created the living thereon, and the time was 1 Gadol, 24,000 years. That took place within where you see the earth. That's what animal and man. Prior to that, the planet was too hostile to support humans. Prior to the 6th Gadol, which was being a planetary temperature of around 99 degrees. Going to 100, 101, 102, the earth would have been too hostile to sustain man. So this is why we say man wasn't created millions of years straight through. Man was created in pockets. Creation, inhabitation, extinction. Creation, inhabitation, extinction. Creation, inhabitation, extinction. That's how the cycle works. That's the cycle of nature. See, that can be proven. Now it states the first creation on earth, the serpent. See that? In your creation story, it talks about the serpent. The serpent was more subtle beast of the field. Let's go to that. What's that? Genesis 3. What did it say? Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field. Right? In the Owaspy, the first creation on earth was the serpent. Right? Or basically reptile. Look what it states. Book of Inspiration. 34, 6 and 8. Chapter 6, verse 8. I made the serpent the lowest of all of living creatures, for I gave him an element capable of destroying himself. Look, when the earth was encircled with poisonous gases, let's stop there. Let's stop there. It said, when the earth was encircled with poisonous gases. That's showing you right there that man was not always existing on the planet straight continually. There was a point where the earth was poisonous to man. The gases in the atmosphere would have killed them because it's not prepared for man to live on it yet. This is before man's inhabitation. It says, when the earth was encircled with poisonous gases, I created poisonous vines. See that? Poisonous vines, weeds, trees, and all kinds of herbs growing profusely upon the earth. So at this time, vegetation would have been poisonous to man. Vegetation would have been poisonous to man. So man could not have been living on the planet millions of years ago straight through, when the Owaspy is telling you that there was a point that the earth, the atmosphere was poisonous, and not only that, the herbs, the vegetation was poisonous. He says, I created poisonous vines, weeds, trees, and all kinds of herbs growing profusely upon the earth. So here's an example of the atmosphere, poisonous atmosphere, and you have poisonous plants still to this day. See that? Look what it states. In that way, I created the vegetable world from destroying gases and from earth substance. And in that day, all growing things upon the earth, which I had created, were poisonous as to animal life. So look at that. The Owaspy is showing you that there was a time that man was not capable of being sustainable on the planet due to the poisonous vegetation, because it's unripe. The vegetation has not been alkaline yet. These are acidic herbs, acidic weeds, acidic vines, because that's the rule of vegetation, acid and alkaline. Poisonous, it would be considered on the acidic side to man. Anything that is strongly acidic could be poisonous to man, meaning that it'll dehydrate the body, cause inflammation and mucus. So this day, the soil and the vegetation was strongly acidic, which would make the herbs, the trees, and the plants poisonous. Then look what it states. Then I created the serpent of all sizes. I created them, and they were poisonous also. So look at that. He created the serpents around this time. Examples of serpents, reptiles, snakes, whatever. And look what it states. And the serpents I created were carnivorous, feeding upon one another. Self-impregnating, I created them. Reference, self-impregnating. We're not making this up. We're not making this up. What this say? What this say? Anna. What this say? Anna. Hold on. Move this. The anaconda got pregnant all by herself by virgin birth. There's an article on this. And it's from the Washington Post. That's a credible source, Reggie Jabari. That's a credible source. Anna, the anaconda, got pregnant all by herself. What did the Owaspy say? And the serpents I created were poisonous, were carnivorous, feeding upon one another, self-impregnating, I created them. See that? And look what Jaja say. Thus I drove the poisonous of the air down into the vegetation, and from there, from the vegetation, into the animal world. Thus I purified the air of heaven. See that? See how the Creator is showing you the process of impurity to purity by driving the poisonous gases down to the vegetation kingdom, and then from the vegetation kingdom into the serpents, poisonous serpents. Any snake that's poisonous stems from this period when the earth was uninhabitable for mortals. But that poisonous toxic is still being carried through the snake till this day. That's how old the venom and poison of that snake is, coming from a pre-human time. And then he said, I purified the air of heaven. What that mean? Now the air is purified for humans to suck the air of heaven, suck the oxygen, take a deep breath, breathe in, breathe out. Let the light in, let the light out. Huh? What you say, Cosmo? See that? So now the air is purified. Before it wasn't purified, it was toxic. And then look what it states. This was the first creation I created on this world, which was the serpent, capable of impregnating itself. What did the Bible say? What did the Bible say? Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field. And notice it's associating the serpent with the beginning of time, or the beginning of man's time on earth. Pre-man, the serpent was here before man. Owaspi validate that. The first creation on the planet was the serpent. During a time when vegetation in the atmosphere was poisonous to man. So just imagine how that would have looked. You have a poisonous atmosphere, which would have been unbreathable. You would have had to put on a spacesuit, an oxygen mask, to even to sustain. The atmosphere could have been methane or something. You suck that and you gone. And then you got serpents floating around in the ocean on land, eating the vegetation of this toxic. This is the first creation. See, Owaspi get deep, but they can't tell you that. Where they at? Osiris can't tell you that. Osiris ain't breaking things down like that. El ain't breaking nothing down like that. El told you that the serpent interbred with Eve and produced Cain and the Cainite race, the serpent seed. That's what they believe in over there. Over here, we're talking about reptiles, because a serpent is a reptile, that predates the mammal. If that's the case, if he's saying that the reptile, the serpent, which is a reptile, is the first creation, that means reptiles predate mammals. Next, the time of fallen Aja, Jaya, and Nebula. This is what's taking place after that, right? Look what it says. Then, keep in mind the serpent is running around. Then I overcast the earth with falling nebula and covered it up the poisonous growing upon the earth. And they were turned to oil and coil. See that? See that? You don't even know where the coil beds come from. Precept, Book of Cosmogony and Prophecy, 8.3. There is still another period to all corporeal worlds, Lutz. In the time of Lutz, there fall on a planet condensed earthly substance such as clay, stone, ashes, dismented molten metals, and so on, in such great quantity that it can be compared to snowstorms piling upon the corporeal substance on the earth in place to a depth of many feet, and it drifts up to hundreds of feet. See that? So you got debris that falls on the planet, molten lava, fire and brimstone. But these are periods that the planet goes through. Lutz was called Uz by the ancient prophets because it was a time of destruction. If Lutz followed soon after a Simuan age, time of creation, when portion of the earth were covered with simu and rank vegetables, it charred them. It charred them, penetrating and covered them up. Most of the coal beds and oil beds in the earth were made this way. See that? Look at that. You have Aja Nebula that rained down on the earth and it became the coil beds today. Nigga, we fueling our car off a cosmic rock, nigga. We got that cosmic oil, nigga. Oil coming out the cosmos when we fueling our tanks to this day. You know what I mean? Go to Chevron, go to Shell's, get you some oil, get that premium. Nigga, that premium came from that ether. You putting that premium ether in the tank, not knowing that octane, that came from some goddamn meteorites floating through the space 80,000 years ago, 100,000 years ago. And look what it states. Lutz belong more to an earlier age of a planet when its vortex is more extended, and when the nebula clouds in its outer belt are subject to condensation, so as to rain down on the earth these corporeal substances, these corporeal showers. See that? See that? Look what it states, another precept. And it came to pass when the earth was in the midst of Tazah, there fell upon the earth for the space equal to 12 days condensed nebula in dust and stone and water. combined sufficient in some places to cover up the forest Jehovah had made. And that which fell was hot, like molten iron, and the trees of the forest and the valleys were beaten down and covered up and burnt to blackness. So they're letting you know that times come when you have meteorites that impact the earth, right? That's what it's saying. Jehovah said, "These shall remain on the earth, for in the time that follows, man shall seek the coil, not knowing whence it came. And it will bear witness of the regions of Ajah and Jaya in the firmament of heaven." Look at that. So while you looking at while these refining oil companies is drilling oil and extracting oil, not knowing this shit came from the cosmos, it came from the heavens. It was rained down. That's heavy. That's heavy. And then you go into the second creation. Look what it states. "Then I made a new creation, the second creation, giving feet, legs, and bones to the animals, and I designed for the earth." See that? "And when the earth was ripe for man, then I created him, male and female. I created those of the what? Second creation." Man is of the second creation. Man is a product of the second creation. The first creation is the serpent. After the serpent, Judge rained down nebula, meteorites, started a new creation, the mammals. Reptiles precede mammals according to this. He says, "Then I made a new creation, having feet, legs, bones to the animals." These are the mammals, land and same time reptiles and mammals. And here's an example of just a little quick map of that process. So let me scroll in first real quick. So at the very top, you see it says the Simu age, 144,000 years. That 144,000 years is broken down into two halves of 72,000 years. Those 72,000 years is broken down into 6 periods of 24,000 years called Gedal degrees. It's the 6th Gedal degree when Jaja created the serpent, right? A Gedal degree is 24,000 years. 24,000 years is broken down into 2 halves of 12,000 years. 12,000 years is broken down into arc cycles of 3,000 years, 4 arc cycles. 4 arc cycles of 3,000 years give you 12,000 years. 2 12,000 years give you 24,000 years of Gedal. 6 24,000 years give you a half age of 72,000 years. See how we could play with the math and play with the numbers, breaking it down, breaking it all the way down. So now we're at the 6th Gedal, because you remember Jaja said I created the living in the 6th Gedal. I created the living in 1 Gedal, being the 6th Gedal degree in the first age, where the planetary temperature is 100 to 99. That 24,000 years is broken down into 2 halves of 12,000 years. Those 12,000 years is further broken down into arc cycles of 4 periods of 3,000 years. So now you have the first arc cycle, or the first 12,000 years. This is when the serpents are created, the jellyfish and the serpent. Around this time period, right? Jaja rained down Simu, nebula. And the next 12,000, so the first 12,000 years, you got the serpent, Jaja rained down nebula, and then you have the next 12,000 years where he creates the second creation. So you got the first creation and the second creation right here. First creation, second creation. The second creation, you have what? Legged animals. The creation of man. So that's the breakdown. So we break the numbers down all the way from 144,000 all the way down to 3,000 year cycles and placing it where it would have transpired, where creation would have transpired. See that? And this is the growth of morals through the arc cycles. See, this is the creation of man, the first arc cycle to the 25th arc cycle. And man collectively as a whole species is growing like a child will grow throughout the ages. And according as man grows, so shall he learn, so shall his education will be. So as a child, you think like a child. So the gods got to talk to you like a child. And as you grow, the gods will eventually, teach you the same way, just like school. So this is the behavior of man through the arc cycles, becoming from a child mentality to an adult. The condition of man at the beginning, Book of Inspiration, chapter 6, verse 18. And man was dumb like other animals, without speech and without understanding. See that? A lot of times we think man was created having this vast amount of knowledge. He got a lexicon in his brain, a whole dictionary of understanding. Adam came out the womb speaking Hebrew. That's what cats is thinking. Adam came on the scene with a fresh new pair of Nikes or some Timbs. Or Adam came out the womb speaking perfect language. When God made Adam, he just talked to him and conversed like we talking. No. Nature, the cycle of nature shows us that everything has to be taught. When a baby comes into the world, goo goo gaga. The baby is unconscious of language. So what the Owaspi is saying is that when man was created with those same behavioral orders as a child. You got to go through the order. You got to learn alphabet. You got to learn pronunciation of words. You got to learn numbers. You got to learn all that before you can become comprehensive. So when they say man was dumb, it's not an insult to man. It's to say that man had no understanding of who he was. A child don't know who he is. And man was dumb like other animals, without speech and without understanding, even less than any other creature that I have created. See that? Nevertheless, I had given to man and thus made him out of all the dissolved elements of every living thing that had preceded him. Elements is minerals, so man is made up of minerals. And man partook of the first and second creation after the manner of every animal on the earth. I created man with all the characteristics of all of them. I created him, male and female, I created them. So showing you that man is a product of the earth. Man came into the world speechless, had no understanding, just like a baby. Coming back up to the chart, that's why we got this baby at the beginning, starting off. That's man. Man was crawling before he started walking. Adam wasn't running around like this up here, just perfectly walking. Huh? Like he in a fashion show. No. Adam came into this joint crawling just like the baby. Name me one baby that came out the womb just walking out the womb and talking perfect English or perfect Hebrew or perfect Spanish straight out the womb. The baby is helpless when it comes out the womb, totally dependent on grown folks. So if man was created in this type of condition of being lacking understanding, having no knowledge, no speech, it was the angels that was the teachers, because there was nobody there to be examples to raise them up. This is where the ancestors come in at. See that? So man got to crawl before you walk. Look what it states. And man was unconscious of his creation, not knowing where he came from, nor did he know which was his own species. When you're coming back to the child, this child is unconscious. This baby right here, this child is unconscious of who he is. He don't know where he came from. He just know he here. When your ass was a child, you ain't know you came out my womb. You just know you here. So it's the same conditions with man in the beginning. Man was unconscious of his creation, not knowing whence he came from, where, how I get here, who am I? Nor did he know what his own species was. That's how dumbed down man was. Just like a child. You could put a black child and a Chinese child and a white child. They don't know nothing about no species, that I'm African American, I'm Chinese. They don't know that. They haven't come to the understanding of that yet. So they are unconscious. You see what I'm saying? So how can man rise up if he's in a state of ignorance, or if he's in a childlike state as coming in, being created like this? So what Jaja say next? I sent angels to man, ancestors, to teach him who he was. Don't your parents do that? All right, boy, you African American, or boy, you an indigenous, or you an Indian. Depending on what your nationality is, you're gonna start teaching your kid his nationality. So what the angels did, the angel was sent to what? To teach him who he was, to rouse him up to his capabilities for which I created. So when you raise a child, you got to raise a child in his capabilities. He could be fast. He could be intellectually smart. He can play, throw a football, play basketball, sports, whatever the genre is, but he has to be capable and taught the capabilities of these things. And then look what it states. And my angels drew from man's side substance, DNA, and thus took on corporeal forms. And the angels dwelt with man as what? Helpmates to make men understand. Right there. The angels, it says, and the angels dwelt with man as helpmates to make men understand. So when man was created and he was in his primitive state, not knowing whence he came, not knowing who he is, unconscious of speech, unconscious of understanding, the angels was there as parents to help men understand, give men a script, alphabet, vowels, learning speech, identifying things in nature. So you can imagine the struggles that the angels went through to raise man up. No different trying to raise a child up. Raising up a baby from an infant to the ages of 5 years old ain't easy. There's a lot of work you got to put into to develop that child's understanding and make him capable of comprehending. You know what I mean? So like I said, we got this whole thing broken down to a science, so. I just give him a little taste, you know. Just a little taste, family. You know what I mean? Just a little taste. Yeah. We're going to close it out. I just want to hop on and drop some spirit science, touch on some things. You know how we do. You know what I mean? Give me some vortices in the chat. Give me some ones in the chat. So we're going through, you know what I mean, breaking down the spirit science and the Owaspi, showing and proving that the kinetic science ain't got no matchup to this. You know what I mean? If I shoot him dead still. With your boy Slash Slim about to push out. We're going to ride out to Jah vibes. We're going to ride out to Jehovah vibes, you dig? But before we go, we got to take one more commercial break.
Ooh. And that track, I'm set.
And that track, unbet het.
Shoo. And that track, I'm set.
Track ast.
Nuke,
ast.
Shoo.
Nuke, I'm set. Track ast.
And that track, I'm set.
Nuke, ast.
Shoo.
And that track, unbet het.
Shoo.
Nuke, shoo.
Bittersweet Herbals. What it tastes is bitter, but the results are sweet. Bittersweetherbals.com.
Run the rhythm.
Bittersweet Herbals. What it tastes is bitter, but the results are sweet. Bittersweetherbals.com.
Yes, family, make sure to get your bitters. And we out of here. Salute, peace, love, and light. Let's run the rhythm.
Of truth and light, where the spirits dance all night, the creator gang shines bright, guiding us with all their might. Trumpets sound across the sky as we raise our voices high, praising the one most high under the Owaspi's watchful eye. We sing songs of love and grace in this sacred space. For the creator gang we embrace, their wisdom we chase, with trumpets playing in tune under the silvery moon. We dance until the morning sun, this connection never undone. Harmony in every beat, our faith is concrete. Through the pages of the Owaspi, ancient wisdom on display, teaching us the righteous way, leading us to a brighter day. With each trumpet blast, we're reminded of the past and the love that will ever last in this divine contrast. United we uplift and hear it. We sing songs of love and grace in this sacred space. For the Creator again we embrace, their wisdom we chase. With trumpets playing in tune, under the silvery moon, we dance until the morning sun, this connection never undone. We sing songs of love and grace in this sacred space. For the Creator gang we embrace, their wisdom we chase. With trumpets playing in tune, under the silvery moon, we dance until the morning